Hey everyone, today's movie of the day is Daddy's Home. It was released in 2015. It has Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg, and Linda Cardellini. Will Ferrell's character's name is Brad, Mark Wahlberg is Dusty, and Linda Cardellini is Sarah. And the premise of the movie is pretty much Will Ferrell is the stepdad, Brad is the stepdad of Sarah's kids. They don't really like him. They're kind of distant. The daughter's very, very mean. The pictures that they have of the family, she draws Brad with poop on his head. Um, but in the first couple minutes of the movie, it progresses so that she accepts him a little bit more. The boy, the son, comes to him for help because he's getting bullied in school. And Will Ferrell is very clean cut, by the book, literally by the book. He has a book on how to be a stepdad. I would say that his character is similar to how he was in the movie The Other Guys, which he also did with Mark Wahlberg. Um, or Stranger Than Fiction. He's very emotional, very sentimental. So very very good stepdad. Does a lot for the kids, stuff like that. So in comes Mark Wahlberg's character Dusty, and he is the biological father, and he has to get picked up at the airport by Will Ferrell, by Brad, and the first thing that you see of him, leather jacket, big belt buckle, badass music playing in the background, and walks right past Will Ferrell. And Will Ferrell's like, "Oh, are you Dusty?" Nope. Keep going. Then they get home, and Will Ferrell's like, "No, you were Dusty. Like, why did you, whatever?" So they pulls him aside, and he's like, "Look, Dusty's saying to Brad, I don't like you. I'm the biological father. I'm coming back in here. I'm gonna like take my family back." That pretty much sets the tone for the entire movie. It's pretty much just a battle between them, and they just keep upping the ante throughout. Um, the big battle is obviously over the kids, but also they're battling for Sarah. So Mark Wahlberg has his shirt off all the time, which I'm all right with, but obviously Will Ferrell's character has a problem with. Um, and then they pretty much just keep trying to like buy into or like uh, I don't know swindle their way into, I guess. I don't know the right name for it, but into the love of the kids. So it starts off small. It starts off with oh, I'm going to give you a back rub before bed. It's like, oh, I'm going to tell you a bedtime story. Oh, I'm going to give you kisses. Like, oh, I'm going to give you $20. um, and so you kind of have like the different dads going at it, and Will Ferrell works at a radio station, and Dusty goes in, and he did like a melody or something, like the introduction to the radio station, and everyone loved it, and Will Ferrell's been trying to like get someone for this position like forever. Um, so now Dusty's making more money. Now Dusty's trying to do all these things for the family. Um, uh, Will Ferrell's trying to act like the macho man that Dusty is. Tries to ride his motorcycle. The movie's a little silly. There's a lot of times in the movie where physics just goes out the window, like it doesn't exist, I guess. Um, for example, Will Ferrell is trying to ride the motorcycle, ends up like doing a wheelie up into the house, up the stairs. He gets stuck in a wall, and the motorcycle jumps out the side window, lands on Brad's car, and parks perfectly on the driveway again, with no scratch on it, which is pointed out by Dusty. Um, and then Dusty will come up and just like punch the wall, and Brad falls. And it's like, oh, okay. I mean, yeah, it's pretty funny, but like, I mean, you could keep it a little bit more realistic. Um, Pretty sure Brad has a concussion. No one seems worried about it. And then, speaking of injuries, later on, um, Brad has been trying to build this treehouse with the boy, and it's not going very well. So Dusty takes the help of this contractor that ends up living with the family because there was a misunderstanding between Brad and the contractor. And anyway, it's like a weird side story. So the contractor and Dusty build the treehouse, and it has like a rope swing and a zip line and all this different stuff. And then in addition to that, they build a half pipe next to the treehouse, like a full skateboarding half pipe. And Brad apparently has done a lot of skateboarding in the past, so Brad's like, oh, I'm going to show him up now, like I know how to skateboard. Gets on the roof, skateboards off the roof onto the half pipe, goes up, ends up flying up into an electrical wire and electrocutes himself and dies. Um, well, briefly. Sorry. And so Dusty's like coming up and he like does a little, like literally half an inch type chest compression, which I've done CPR before, I mean, training, but still, that's not how it works. That's not, I mean, I know it's trying to be like fun and everything, and like, oh, he's so macho, he only needs like half an inch, but like, no, no. Anyway, so towards the end of the movie, they're finally the final battle basically is how they're raising these kids and how they're who's gonna be the dad of these kids and so Will Ferrell finally gets to the point where he sets up like the entire living room in Christmas and he buys the kids like a bunch of different presents. He buys a pony for the girl. He buys like Lakers tickets for the family and it obviously ridiculous. They go to the Lakers game. Mark Wahlberg knows one of the trainers of the Lakers, takes him down so that they can meet, I think, LeBron or something. I don't watch basketball. And so it basically gets to the point where Will Ferrell is so fed up that he's just like, you know what, give me like 10 beers, and he turns into Frank the Tank from Old School, which is awesome. He gets called out onto the court for a half court shot, pegs cheerleader in the face, gets escorted out, and Sarah basically says, "Don't come home." So Dusty has won. Will Ferrell's character is I don't know, at his office, living out of his office. He gets an epiphany, and so the final battle is at the girls' daddy-daughter dance, which she has invited both of them to. And so Brad shows up, Dusty shows up, and they, on the side note, like the bullies that the son has been having trouble with are girls, apparently, and Dusty told him to punch the bullies in the face, so he punches a girl in the face. Bill Burr makes a cameo as the girl's father, wants to fight Dusty, and Will Ferrell's character, Brad, said that instead of punching the bully in the face, you should have a dance-off. So Dusty takes a note out of his book and has a dance-off with Bill Burr, and it is as awesome as you would imagine it. So that kind of dissipates. The daddy-daughter dance is back on, and everyone's real happy, and they do the whole happy ending type thing. Here's where it gets even more ridiculous. More ridiculous than buying a pony, getting electrocuted, coming off of a half pipe, and flying through the house on a motorcycle. Okay? Which is difficult, but I'll prove you how. They pretty much they try to go meta, I think. So you have Brad as the stepdad, Dusty is the biological father, and Sarah is the mom, right? Okay. So Brad is with Sarah, with the kids, and Dusty moves on. He got all this money from the radio station. He buys literally a castle house down the street from the family. And he gets his own wife, okay? And that wife has a daughter. So now Mark Wahlberg's character, Dusty, is now a stepdad. So you pretty much just start over again. And the daughter doesn't accept him, and he's trying to, get her to love him and whatever. And the wife is hotter than Sarah, so Sarah gets jealous at Dusty, and so she's like the step, I don't know. So then Dusty is trying to pretty much be like the Will Ferrell character, trying to go by the book and everything, and Brad is trying to teach him, this is how you do it, and speak to the biological father and all this stuff, and so then you have another biological father that shows up. That is the biological father of Dusty's new wife, who's the father of that daughter, and he shows up, and it's a bigger motorcycle, and he's taller, and he's bigger muscles, and Will Ferrell's like, oh, this guy's better than you in every way. Oh, just like before. And then the guy gets off the motorcycle and he takes off his helmet, and guess who it is? John Cena. They should have just had the trumpets going. I mean, John Cena? Really? That's who you're going to have? And then they have the gall to have him walk forward to go to see his daughter, and Mark Wahlberg walks up and is like, hey, you must be something, something, whatever the name of the biological father was. John Cena says, nope, keeps walking. Just like before. Very creative. Very imaginative. Good job, guys. Not a bad movie. I liked it. I watched it on an airplane, so I probably missed a lot of stuff. It was fairly distracting. Uh, I'd say that it's probably similar to the other guys. So if you like that movie, you'll like this movie. Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg have just amazing conversations together. They have a back and forth that I don't know if it's just those actors that can do it, or if it's the same writers. I didn't look it up, but it works. It's good. It's a silly movie, but if you like the Will Ferrell movies, if you like the Mark Wahlberg, like Ted, excuse me, if you like those type of movies, with like the sometimes dark, bad humor, a little bit ridiculous, it's good. I would recommend it. So, thanks. I want to add on, if I usually put this underneath, but I'll just say it right now. If you wanted me to review any movie that you had in mind that I could possibly find, Redbox, Netflix, HBO Go, any of that stuff, let me know. I'll review it for you. I also own a bunch of other movies, so if you don't think that it's on any of those streaming networks, just let me know, and I'll look it up. If you have a comment or a question, or you want to discuss something, or you want to tell me that I'm ugly, leave a comment below. Love to hear from you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.